for us, looking at LaNorris, right? He does some great things, brother. He does some great things. I just want to see him continue to be him. Like, I don't want people to try to change who he is, because his legs is strength, right? But don't try to turn him into a pocket passer. If Coach Holtz never came to that school, would Spurrier be there? If Spurrier never came there, would Beamer be there? It's all a domino effect, right?
I have no idea why his number isn't retired. He's the best receiver ever, I think, to ever come through stat-wise. What's up, y'all? This is another episode of As I Sip My Coffee. I'm the host, Savell Newton, and I'm sitting here with which I would call a legend. One of the guys who kind of set the road clear for myself to be able to drive into Carolina. I was able to watch him and see some of the things that he brought to the game at Carolina, which made me want to join as a quarterback. And I'm sitting here with your boy, Corey Jenkins. How you doing?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Doing good, man.
Chilling.
Good, man.
Chilling. I'm glad to have you here, man.
Oh, yeah. Glad to be here, brother, for sure.
Yeah, you know, when we start thinking about, like, some of the guys who have done it and really have done it, but really don't get the recognition for what they have done and the pivotal role that they played into the success of building the program. I think about yourself. I mean, you done had plenty of conversations. Yes. Like, how does that feel like when your name is not really mentioned a whole lot in that?
Well, you know, man, it's kind of like one of them things with time. Mm-hmm. You know, it just fades away with time. You know, and it sucks that's just kind of how life works. But for guys that's been around it, you know, for guys that respect the game, respect the university, you know, it's, you know, I go places now and people still talk to me like I just got done playing 2-3 years ago. You know what I mean? My son reminded me of that, and he was like, Dad, you know, they still talk to you like you just got done. You know, and I look at it like from my standpoint, you know, they always talk about, you know, like now, it's the big thing at Carolina now is welcome home. Mm-hmm. Right? This has always been home for me. Yeah. You know, and when I talk about home, I'm talking about that 10-year-old kid who sold sodas in the game. You know what I mean? That was my hustle. We live 5 minutes down the street. I grew up and, you know, people ask me where I'm from. I say I'm from Arthurtown, 48, South Carolina. Right? Because that's where it is. We are literally 5 minutes down the street. I grew up on Bernie's Chicken. You know, and so for me, man, you know, people remember, some people do, some people don't. You know what I mean? I just think it's pivotal that the university remember where they were and where we are now. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing for me. Like, you watch me play, and guess what? I watch Anthony Wright play, right? He was the first one to do it for all us. Yeah. And they don't show him no love, which is kind of crazy to me because he only got, 2 Super Bowl rings, I think it is. You know what I mean? Played in the league for 10 years, you know? So it's things like that make me think like, come on, man. Like, you know, we got to do a little bit better of keeping up with our history. Mm-hmm. Have we won national championships? No. Right? Have we won SEC titles? No. But have we had guys that come through here that have did things to put this university on the map to the point to where, South Carolina now has black quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. South Carolina now has good coaches. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, it's things that's happened that's put this university on the map, and then people just tend to forget about it. So me personally, if they remember, fine. If they don't, fine. No sweat for me, man. Yeah.
Let me sit my cup down because I gotta go back a little bit from what you just said. That this wasn't like the normal track of where I was going to go, but you just hit on something that kind of made me have to sit up a little bit and say. You said Anthony Wright. Right. You go back and you look, and I'm looking at Corey Jenkins, and you're looking at Anthony Wright. Right. And Anthony Wright was already in the NFL by the time I'm looking at Corey Jenkins.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't know that Anthony Wright was at Carolina.
That's right.
You notice that?
And that's crazy to me.
And it's crazy to me too, but you said us. And when you say us, like what do you mean by like us?
When I say us, for one, I look at the University of South Carolina as a family.
Yes, sir.
One, right? But when I say us, I talk about us as black men, right?
Gotcha.
And we got a brotherhood, right? And it's big. And, you know, right now, I was the first black head coach at my high school, right? For us football wise. We've had black head coaches for basketball, you know, and I don't know with the other sports, but we've had none for football. But we've had pretty good players come through there, you know, that people don't remember. So with me being able to go back home, being that first black head coach at Dreher High School was huge to me. Being the second black starting quarterback at South Carolina, that's huge for me, you know, because I was born garnet and black, man, you know, and that's what I think people fail to realize when I say we, like we got guys that stay home. Right? Literally that are from the state, that stay here, that grew up watching South Carolina football, you know, wanting to be Gamecocks. And then it's just like, blow away in the dust.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just, you know, that's hard to swallow sometimes because you're like, man, I really dedicated myself to this. And I'm one of them people, I don't ask for a whole lot. I don't really ask for nothing, you know, but, you know, again, it's not all bad, but it could be better.
Could be better, yeah. Yes. And that's when I said, you know, as far as like explain us, you know, with me sitting across from you, you know, being a quarterback, especially coming out of high school, ratings when you say number 5 quarterback in the nation,
right? And
we both, you know, Lou Holtz guys.
That's right.
And, yeah, so you know, it's like. He gave both of us an opportunity.
Exactly.
Because when I just interviewed him and on my last podcast we just released, you know, he spoke about Tony Rice.
That's right.
And going into Woodruff, small Woodruff,
South Carolina,
and getting Tony Rice. And a lot of folks don't understand, like, you know, when it comes to the mentality and mindset of what you would say a black quarterback, and how the road has been paved for that to now when we look at the team and we thinking about LaNorris Sellers probably, which is probably, I mean, he's a little bit of all of us. His run style like yourself, right. You know, his shiftiness like me, right. And then, you know, his arm strength just like Anthony Wright, and he's all of us in one. Right. And I mean, I hate to say he's better than us.
Oh, it's no doubt.
But the opportunity that he's able to get is like almost is that the same opportunity that we were blessed with?
Yes and no. Right. And the reason I say that, you know, knowing the things I know now, if I knew them back then, I don't know if I would have went to junior college, right? Yeah. I may have sat out a year and just, you know, did whatever I had to do school-wise, you know, because coming back after baseball, all the standards changed. So when I graduated, everything was fine. Yeah. I had all my core courses. My GPA was great, made 1160 on the SAT. So there was no issues, right? But, you know, going to play baseball, coming back 5 years later, standards changed. They gave me 2 core courses short. So I said, okay, you know, South Carolina, Coach Dave Roberts, right? Yep. Dirty Dave. Right? Dirty Dave. Say, Corey, all right, unfortunately, you got to go to JUCO, you know? And it was a choice to go, to either go to Georgia Military or go out to Kansas, right? And me and my mom, we took a trip out to Georgia Military, and I said, there's no way I'm going here. First of all, I'm 23, 24 years old, right? They got no air conditioning in the dorms in Georgia. It's not gonna happen for me. So I went out to Garden City on a blind eye. Long story short, I just got inducted into the Hall of Fame this past year. So for me, you know, when you look at certain things and how they happen, right? Being at South Carolina, it gave me a great opportunity to play quarterback for 2 years. Let me take that back. For a year and 10 games, right? And look at yourself, right? What happens if you get to play quarterback all 4 years, right? Not move the receiver, right? Not move the slot, not move the safety, right? Now, I love Coach Holtz. You know, you hear people have stories about him, you know, they didn't like this, like that. And of course, you know, you can't make everybody happy. But he was hard as hell on me, you know, and he said some things to me and I'm like, you know, I could easily say, man, I don't like that. But growing up in North of town, you ain't got time to be sad. You ain't got time to be depressed. That means you don't get fed. right? So you deal with it the best way you can and you use it as a positive. He moved me to linebacker the last 2 games, right? Well, actually, I went to safety 1 game for Florida, and then the last game, I went to linebacker. So you look at it, he put me in a position to where I can go play at the next level. Yeah. You know, people like, oh, you should have been doing it the whole time. For instance, for you, you know, they'll say, you know what? Hey, man, Savell probably should have been playing slot the whole time or whatever the whole time, right? He could have played in the NFL. Well, they'll put us in a position that's best suited for them, right? Especially when you're a team guy, right? And so talking with a lot of my brothers, you know, on the chat, I start understanding like them and why they feel a certain way. Because those guys too, they wanted to go to the next level. But it's like, nah, don't move me, right? Don't move me for your benefit, right? Move me for my benefit, right? And later on in my college career, Coach Holtz moved me for my benefit. So playing quarterback was their benefit, right? Me being me, I ain't give a shit. I just want to play, right? Just put me on the field. I'm good. I don't care. I just want to be out there, right? So you get certain things and aspects and you look at it and you say, you look at A1, right? A1 played quarterback their entire time. Like I enjoyed watching him, right? Because he was the first black quarterback. And
A1 for those who don't know
is Anthony Wright. Exactly.
Wright.
Right. He was the first black quarterback at the University of South Carolina. Yeah. Like, you know what that meant to me? I'm like, oh, I got a shot, right? I got a chance. You know what I mean? And Coach Holtz, people don't realize this either. When Coach Holtz was at Notre Dame, I was a senior in high school. I was still in high school, of course, obviously. I had a full ride to Notre Dame. So it was like he knew exactly what he was getting. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, you know, baseball came calling. You know, that first round draft pick stuff was great. And I had a chance to do a lot of stuff for my mom. But football is my love. So with him, you know, being at South Carolina, that was like a drawing thing for me. Like, I've talked to this guy, right? He knows me. I know him. You know, I can come back home and play ball, right? Went and met with him. He said, Corey, you know, I'm going to see what's bad I can find out about you. Yeah. Come back in about 3 days. Go back in 3 days. He said, I got a full ride for you. Just like I had when you know, being at Notre Dame. Accepted it. Then, of course, you know, everything else happened with JUCO and all that other stuff. But I just think, man, for us, looking at LaNorris, right? He does some great things, brother.
Great things.
He does some great things. Yeah. Right? And I just want to see him continue to be him. Like, I don't want people to try to change who he is. Yeah. Because his legs is strength, right? But don't try to turn him into a pocket passer, right? Don't try to make him sit back there and say, you sit until the last minute, then you go, right? Will he learn and grow up? Of course he will. Will he start making those little easy throws? Of course he will, right? He's still young, but he's been there, his third year now, right? Man, listen, at 245, doing what he do, I love to see it, man.
I love to see it too.
Love to see it.
And so getting into more about yourself, you Dreher High School.
Yes.
Dreher High School, came out of Dreher High School. Who was your coach at Dreher?
So my football coach was Mike Siss. Scalded dogs, baby. That was his thing. We gonna play like a bunch of scalded dogs. He was a big part of me being who I am. My high school coaches in general. My head football coach was Mike Siss. My head baseball coach was Brett Blackman, right? My head basketball coach was Steven Abnett, right? Them guys, they were like father figures to me. So not only did they care about how we played, but they care about us as young men. They helped like raise us. You know, you got Coach Brooks, who's still coaching everything he can coach, but he's the head track coach at Benedict now. Oh, wow. Like he really just needs to retire, right? But he can't, he just loves being around and he loves what he do. Those guys made me want to coach, right? Because I knew the effect they had on me as a young man. I saw them coach my siblings, right? And I watched them coach other guys like that played with me. They cared about us as individuals, right? When I got to South Carolina, some coaches cared, some coaches didn't care, right? Yeah. But from a player standpoint, that same brotherhood I had in high school with the boys that I grew up off with from 48, that we're still super tight. Guess what? The boys I went to school with at Carolina, right? We still super tight.
Yes, sir.
Right? As a matter of fact, there's a big game Friday. GC versus GC, Dreer versus Lakewood. So the head coach at Lakewood is Willie Offer, right? Mm-hmm. Me and Coach O talked just the other night, right? And we talk on a daily basis on the chat, obviously. You know what I mean? So when you develop a brotherhood, man, and you see the kind of things that we see and that we go through, you know what I mean? We start understanding a lot more why guys feel the way that they feel.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, you look at the way that things are at Carolina, you know, a lot of, like you said, a lot of great things, and a lot of things that speaking to guys like yourself, or we're all in the group chats and things of former players, and you know, y'all always get on me about speaking too much. I guess that's why I got this podcast. But also, you know, sometimes, you know, in our position, we were the quarterbacks. So we were the voice inside of the huddles. So we do speak a lot. And, you know, being in those group chats and hearing some of the things that some of the players are not fond of or happy about. What are some of the things that you yourself see that is valid in those group messages that you would like to see maybe change a little bit or start to happen for some of the guys like Willie Offer? Because you say Willie Offer got drafted.
That's right.
He got drafted, but
Minnesota for 7 years.
But let it be told who is Willie Offer. By you know what I'm saying? There's no recognition. And I know it's been 20 plus years. I mean, we're both head football coaches. And the kids that we're coaching, they have never seen Corey Jenkins play. No. They've never seen Willie Offer. They've never seen Savell Newton play. But like Carolina fans have seen us play. They know. So what are some of the things that you yourself in those groups could see that could possibly help change things?
In our group, I ain't gonna break no codes here. But I just think they need to have us around more. You know what I mean? You have coaches come in, like Coach Muschamp came in. He started that flag football, the football game before the spring game, right? I thought that was great, right? And we did it actually before the spring game. Yeah. So you talking about guys from all eras coming back to the university, right? To me, that's a big recruiting tool, right? Then you look at the staff, right? You want to say, okay, how many guys that played at South Carolina are on the staff?
The actual staff.
So we got Travian Robinson right now, D-line coach. That's it.
Yeah.
You got Jalen Foster, who was there when I was at South Carolina with Muschamp. Jalen was a player, but Jalen's there coaching DBs right now under Torian. All right, Coach Gray. Right? But other than that, that's it. You know, you look at other sidelines, right? You look at other schools, right? As a player, right? If I'm at South Carolina and I'm on the sideline and I look on the sideline and I see guys that played there, that means, you know what? We gonna look out for the guys that were here, right? And it's so sad to me to say, I'm a Gamecock. I grew up right down the street from it, right? So does, again, as I said, all that hustle, right? I want to take my kids to those games, right? I hadn't been to a game since Will Muschamp left. And I live here in Columbia.
Wow.
Right? I had a situation. I wanted to have my kids, you know, put my family on the sideline. Pre-game, okay?
Pre-game.
Not during the game. I hadn't been up there to ask for anything, nothing, right? And, you know, I got a chance to talk to some people, and I, you know, talk to people in certain positions that can make things happen. And I said, hey, man, I just want some sideline passes pre-game so my kids can be on the field while, you know, like at least on the sideline while they're warming up, which as players, we know what that looks like.
Yeah.
We know doing pregame, we get excited. Why? Because it's 150 people on the sideline watching us warm up.
Yeah, I remember those days. Wait. Weren't you on the staff 2020?
Yes, I was on the staff when Muschamp came.
So you played at Carolina.
Played at Carolina.
Grew up a Carolina fan.
Grew up in Carolina.
Worked at the stadium.
Worked at the university.
Sold sodas.
Right. Sold sodas, brother. Right. In other words, I contributed when I was 10 years old. I contributed to the university then.
And like you said, you just wanted to be able to have an opportunity
to have just let my kids just see what it's like. And my oldest son's 14. Mm-hmm. He's a freshman in high school now. He is diehard football.
Yeah.
My youngest son, 7. He loves football. Mm-hmm. So for them just to have that experience of saying, man, we got to stand on the sideline when they were warming up.
Yeah.
That's the thing I want to make clear now, right? Uh-huh. Not during the game. Because we got tickets, we could have went in the stands, right? I don't need tickets. Yeah. I just want to have my kids on the sideline during warm-ups.
You see all this past week. I mean, even to see what some of the schools are doing with celebrities. It's almost like you either got to be a celebrity or you had to be like this major NFL player, or you got to be one of those guys that just are what you call the kiss up guys,
right? Or you got to donate a whole lot.
Or you have to be donate. Right. Well, I mean, but what is? See, that's the thing where things get. I've been, I've caught a whole lot of flack over the years about like, I've been one of the guys that talk bad about the university. But that's the thing that people never understand because they're fans. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between fans and actually former players.
Right.
And our opinions are a little bit different than just the fan opinions because, like you said those who donate a lot. I left the university, right. You know what I'm saying, with injuries from the last game, right. that I had to figure out how this bill's going to get paid.
How it's going to work out.
How it's going to, get right because right. I needed extra care.
Right.
Once I figured out a couple of things. So you say donate. We donate. You donated.
Oh, a lot.
A lot of your services yourself. I mean, we seen the number 9 right. jerseys. Right. I mean, by God, we seen the number 13 jerseys all over the stadium when I played. NIL wasn't a thing then.
Right.
It is now. Right. But you actually donated
right.
During that time. So, to hear you say like all I wanted was a sideline pass.
And when I got the word no,
you got the word the actual word.
I got the word no. We can't do that. When I got that word, I said, cool, we can't. This was probably maybe Beamer's second year, maybe. Mm-hmm. But when I got that, I said, don't worry about it. We're not even coming to the game. Because that bothered me to the point dude, like, I did play here. Right? Like, I don't ask for nothing no other time.
Yeah.
And I get it. They're in a situation where they might have some guys come every week asking for something. Mm-hmm. I get that. Yeah. Right? And I'm not saying I deserve any special privilege. But damn it, we deserve some special privileges. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is, man. That's the truth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if Coach Holtz never came to that school, would Spurrier be there? If Spurrier never came there, would Beamer be there? Yeah. It's all a domino effect, right? Each head coach that left, he had a say-so with who the next head coach was.
You're right.
That's the way that worked. I don't care what nobody say.
And Lou Holtz made that known.
He made it known that I'm the reason Spurrier's here.
If you didn't watch the last podcast that we just released with Coach Holtz, you go back. There's a segment on there where he spoke about the phone call that he made to Coach Spurrier, knowing that he was trying to get back into football, and he basically said that he was pretty much the reason why that Coach Spurrier became our next head coach. So you hit that right on the head.
And I think, people look at Muschamp as like, oh, he was terrible for the university. Guess what? Second year, y'all, he won 9 games.
He did.
Okay.
I don't think Muschamp was terrible. I just think like the terms of like, the Bentley getting injured going into probably which was the toughest schedule that we asked the year was tough. And we asked the 18-year-old, Ryan Helinski coming from all the way across. You was there.
I had left that year. That was the third
we
year.
asked him to come in and be the starting quarterback during that time.
Right.
And that was a tough year, transitioning, having the offense, trying to get the everything as far as the offensive line to get back tough that year. Like, I mean, people don't understand that. I mean, as a coach,
that's hard, man.
You a coach.
That's hard.
I'm a coach.
That's hard.
It's nothing we can really do until we get our guys. You know what I'm
saying? And that's what I don't know if a lot of people understand, right? Like, as a coach, you come in and you try to set the tone for how you want your program to be.
Yeah.
As former players, we are fast, physical, intense human beings. That's just how we've been groomed.
Yeah.
Right? We work out with the kids. Like I work out with the kids sometime right now. I don't allow my kids to sit down or bend over. Right? Wow. Why? Pat Moore lives in my head. There is no sitting down doing the workout. There is no bending over.
Black iron.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. So our strength coaches, so that old school tough mentality lives with us. That's how Muschamp coached. Come on, he's a Nick Saban protege, man.
Yeah.
Right? I played for Muschamp in Miami. He was my linebackers coach.
Yeah.
Right? And so when he came here and his coaching style was tough, some of the kids couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
Right? Some could, some couldn't, right? But as a coach, there's a switch you got to have, right? And now it's not about just coaching the team, right? You got to coach the kid, right? Because the kids are different now. Let's just call a spade, right? Back in the day, Pat Moore could get on any of us, right? Coach Holtz could get on any of us, right? You wouldn't see guys soak in and being sad. Like, you know what? Let's go. You
didn't have time for that because somebody behind you was ready.
Behind you trying to get it. That's right. You go ahead and cry if you want to. I got it. I'm here.
Yeah.
But now you get on a kid, right? Especially high school. They're going to go tell their parents, right? Now you got to deal with the parents. In college, nobody's loyal anymore. Now, what LaNorris did, I commend him.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't move. And I'm sure he had every bag everywhere thrown at him.
Gotta love him.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm happy for them guys. But I just look at what we did and how we did it. Right? And the scope that we were under. We were always under the impression of we gotta go right now.
Yeah.
Right? But kids now, they're under the impression of that's all right, you go ahead and go. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? That competition part doesn't live there anymore. Right? And they said a big thing the other day. Like right now, Arch Manning, God bless him, last name Manning, right?
Yeah.
He's the number one recruit, supposedly number one prospect coming out of college right now. And Ryan Clark said this thing on Pivotal the other day. He said, people don't realize Arch never went to those camps and lined up against the best. Right? He never went to those quarterback camps and all that stuff and saw the number 2 or the number 3 quarterback in the country across from him. But now he's at Texas. You lining up against the best in the SEC every day, right? College football in general. So now how is he going to respond? And I don't understand how he's the number 1 prospect and he only started 2 games last year.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Well, I mean, I think he has the talent.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, you number 1 team in the nation, and you're playing against the number 3 team, the last year's national championship.
Fire, brother. That's
you know, preseason rankings are just completely like horrible. I mean, just like you said, call a spade a spade. Yep. I mean, I looked at how we performed against Virginia Tech and to say like, okay, now we're in the top 10. Right. We should have been in the top 10 to start the year. Right. But you know, I think he's going to have a great year.
Oh, I think will he prosper? Of course.
Yeah.
Like kids with that genetic background.
Yeah, he's going to be all right.
That is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. He is going to get better each week.
Yeah.
Right. But obviously, the way social media works, media in general works,
yeah.
You know, when you come from a certain background or you're a certain kid, you're gonna get thrown in the fire.
No different than Shedeur Sanders. You know, same situation.
And he is still continuing to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It drives you to be better. Like when when Coach Spurrier first got there and I saw that, I wasn't going to have a chance to compete for, even though I was a returning starting quarterback.
Right.
And once I figured out that I wasn't going to get a chance to play quarterback.
Yeah, let me go
ahead and figure out how I'm going to stack up against, the Sidney Rices and the things like this. And a lot of people don't know, like Sidney was at the back of the depth chart, which to me, I think Sidney is probably, I have no idea why his number isn't retired. He's the best receiver ever come through stat wise.
Right.
In 2 years. So just like you said, that next guy mentality was definitely a thing now. And Sidney had to wait his turn.
Right.
But these, like you said, the kids now are different. The coaching style has to be different.
Right.
And speaking of the coaches that we have now and the staff that we have, what is the major difference that you see from, Muschamp staff and this staff, because you still are, I think, would say some of those guys around there.
Right.
What's the biggest difference that you see?
I think the biggest difference is the staff we have now still holds the locker room. Right? I think Coach Muschamp's staff, we lost the locker room. And as a player, if one player starts feeling bad about a coach, and then another player starts feeling bad about that same coach, then he starts to lose the locker room a little bit. In other words, he starts to lose that respect factor, right? I think Coach Beamer does a hell of a job of keeping those guys engaged with him. I think he's engaged with them all the time. That staff is always engaged with them.
Yeah.
And guess what? Social media is a big part of that.
Yeah.
You always see them on social media doing stuff.
Yeah.
And it helps with, of course, obviously the NIL and all that other good stuff, right? But I think this staff, they do have that home mentality, right?
Yeah.
They do give you that home feel when you get there. Like I was able to take my entire football team to spring practice this past year. Right? When they had spring ball, my kids absolutely loved it. Right? Because they got to see, because how high school kids are. Oh, I'm D1, I'm this, I'm that. Well, guess what? We're going to go look at a pretty good D1 program, right? And they got there and they saw how big the guys were and how fast they move and how strong they were. And so it gave my kids a lot of motivation, for a little bit of time. And then, of course, kids got to be kids.
Yeah.
But that staff, Sean Elliott, unbelievable energy. Everything he does is full speed, full of energy, right? And he's one of those guys, he will talk to me. It doesn't matter where I am.
Yeah.
He will stop whatever he's doing and come talk. He came over and talked to my kids when they were there, and I gotta respect that. I love that about him. We had they had the high school sports report.
Yep.
At the indoor facility, right? I got out of the truck to go inside just to use the bathroom. The lady was like, nah, you can't use the bathroom yet. They're not letting anybody in. I said, ma'am, I just want to go use the bathroom. I'll walk right out. So the guy from the sports reporter goes, hey, you don't know who that is? And I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to just go back outside. I came inside, used the bathroom, right? And soon as I walk into the facility, Mel is right there.
Mel Gibson.
Right.
Not Mel Gibson. Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said Mel's a guy now.
Mel Tucker,
Mel looks at me and said, Corey, I'm sorry. I said, Mel, it's okay. They just don't know. Now, am I expecting everybody to know who I am? No. Right. But just as a player, right, when you go there, you meet the staff. The staff knows exactly who I am, right? Because I, go to their coaches' clinics. I go up there to practice. You know what I mean? That staff is doing things the way I think a staff should do things, right? Hindsight of having other guys around, though. Like everything else, I think they're doing great, right? But we all see it all the time.
Yeah.
There's always positions created for people that you want around.
Who you want around?
Whoever you want around, we gonna figure it out to have you around.
Yeah.
And to me, I think it helps recruiting.
Yep.
Right? And some will say, them kids don't care about. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
They
care.
do. Because then they realize like, oh, well, if I don't make it, maybe I can come back to the school and get a job. I can start my coaching career here, right? I can start as a GA, or I can start as a quality control guy, whatever it may be. I can go play in the league for a couple of years and say, okay, I want to get into coaching now, right? Come back here and coaching. Rod Wilson, right?
Rod Wilson. I mean, it's a
Listen,
long,
man.
Rod Wilson, long list.
That was so disappointing to me because Rod a hometown kid. People love Rod here.
Yeah.
Right? Rod won 2 Super Bowls in Kansas City. And when he was let go on that staff, yeah. And when he was let go on that staff, I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I mean, we all know it's a business too.
It is. It's a business.
But, you know, they let Rod go and they bought in Eric Kimmery. So they let one Gamecock go for another Gamecock.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you guys do. But in the end, I just wish they would have more guys from the university that played there, that care about the school, that care about and I'm not talking about myself.
Yeah,
you know, would I love to coach in college? Yes. Would I love to be a position coach in college? Yes. Right? Because then obviously I got my own room, right? I'm coaching my guys. I love football. But my son's a freshman in high school. Yeah. Right? I am fine with coaching high school ball. Yeah. Right? I love coaching high school ball. And I feel like coaching high school ball, I get to help the kids. Because I'll tell anybody, my purpose on earth is being a dad. Yeah. That's my first purpose. Right? I don't care what nobody says. When I saw my son, I knew right then and there, that's my purpose. Yep. Not to be a super athlete, right? Not to be this great football or baseball player, right? It's to be a dad. That's great. And then when I got into the high school, I realized like these kids definitely need it. Yep. Because it's so different, right? So guys on my staff, right? We try to raise young men, right? To get them to understand life. And I think with guys on this new staff at Carolina, I think they're doing a good job with letting these young men become young men.
And that's good. And to wrap up a little bit, I like to do the 2-minute drill, and I got to do it with you. Let's go. So now you're a quarterback, so you don't even have 2 minutes. You got 1 minute. You're on the field. I need you to get down. We need a field goal or anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fire off about 5 questions. Okay. And just need you not to think, just go with it.
I'm good. Just go with it.
You good with that?
Let's go.
All right. Who's your favorite NFL team? Miami Dolphins. Yes. All right. Who's your favorite just player overall in your whole life growing up? Who's that one player that you just had to watch that you still claim today? Walter Payton. All right. If you had an opportunity to get into coaching, the position coach that you said you would like to do, where would you like to coach? South Carolina University. All right. When you say South Carolina, who was your favorite teammate during your years playing?
Oh, man.
You got to answer. You got time. Come on. You got time.
We got to spike the ball on that. We got to spike the ball. Jay Martin. Okay. All right. So if you had one thing to go back and do and that you could change in your playing career at the University of South Carolina, what would that one thing be? Play linebacker from the get-go. That's great, man. I appreciate you. I wore my wrestling shoes. I knew you were going to say. I knew you were going to say some things that some hard things to say. Yeah. Because a lot of thousands of people are going to watch this interview, this podcast, and they're going to say, "Oh, Corey had some things that I didn't like." He said, but if it's not said by us, who can it be said by? So that's why I love having this, this platform to be able to have guys like yourself come on. I would love to have more of current and also past players to get on this podcast to be able to speak their truths. Right. And, this gives us an opportunity. So I appreciate you for showing up. Listen, I appreciate you having me, man. Again, I don't want people to think I'm down in the university because I'm not. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I was born garnet and black. Yeah. You know what I mean? I live it, breathe it, die it. So I'm good with it. Again, I want things to be great for that university because it can be a great university.
Yeah, of course.
It's all athletically it can be. And obviously being a football player, we want to see the football team be successful. If I'm there or not there, I still root and cheer for my boys out there.
We just want to see it be
That's
successful.
it.
All right. That's another episode of As I Sip My Coffee. I'm your host, Savell Newton. Make sure you tune in, click like, subscribe onto our 1801 channel, wherever you get your podcasts. Join us next episode. It's going to be another heated seat. Next time I might not wear my wrestling shoes. Thank you.